Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to a new TW9 video. You join us today for some more AEW for the Sickos as we try and hunt every achievement in the game. We're on the road to Dynasty. That's going to be our next major pay-per-view, but of course we've got the JR tribute show on 3/16. So it was a nice tribute to Jim that passed away in game. Hopefully we can have a really strong show in his honour. But it's a new era, as I say, it's tournament season, effectively. We need to try and batter through all these women's matches, all these tag team matches, and hopefully it helps all their development and their overness as well, while of course staying true to telling some stories. So yeah, there's a lot going on. Sit back, relax and enjoy some AEW Dynamite, followed of course by Rampage, Collision, and a little bit of Shockwave. So we're here at the First Bank Centre and we start the show with the AEW World Champion. It is of course Christian Cage, who cashed in that contract on a fallen Darby Allin after he battled so well against Claudio in that over 25-minute matchup. Christian confirms that he is the GOAT. He is the best there ever is, ever will be, etc, etc. Then, now and forever. He laughs at Darby Allin. He just says this is what happens when you put your body through hell. It just wasn't enough on the day. He appreciates everything that Killswitch has done for him. He says he's turned it around and he's very appreciative of his monster. But he also says this is the end of the patriarchy. Killswitch has done his job, but Nick Wayne, Shayna Wayne, your services are no longer required. It's time to let my son run free. So a 63 for the segment. So my reasoning here, obviously Nick Wayne, a lot of people want to put him over, but they're all heels. So we're going to go a mega ass babyface run on Nick Wayne, just keeping away from Christian, and alongside Christian you can still have Killswitch, and Shayna Wayne will just kind of kick a bit. So it starts the Then Now Forever storyline. It was a 56 for the first segment, and a 70 for the second part of the segment. Basically, the way I done this was Christian does the promo, thanks Killswitch. Nick Wayne and Shayna Wayne basically get escorted up the aisle by Killswitch, and we had to kind of make it two ways as well, so we finish it with the second part of the angle, and Darby Allin comes in and just starts attacking Christian before Christian scampers to the crowd before Killswitch gets there. So a wee bit of revenge on both sides there with the 63. Oh, that made sense. So we start off with some Briscoes Tag Team Cup action. It was Group C, and we had a decent wild brawl that saw the Guns defeat the Workhorsemen, and 6:02 when Austin Gunn pinned Anthony Henry. So overall it was a 63, some good stuff in there, both teams with great and excellent chemistry, which is good to see. And the Guns there with pretty respectable mid-60 performances as they start off well. We then had a little bit of a Jay White promo here, and he just obviously has in the background the Guns and Juice Robinson. And he speaks a little bit about Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. If you look at what he says, if I get my note up here, just says, look, what did I tell people? How dangerous are the Bang Bang Gang? We've beaten up Jon Moxley and we've injured the American Dragon. We're going to take over this place. I'm going to right all my wrongs in AEW, and then I'm going to become world champion. Bang bang. So guns up and all that. So 67, slowly advances and loses a bit of heat, but just really getting a bit more heat behind the Bang Bang Gang for stable warfare, effectively. We then had a little segment backstage just with Nick talking to Shayna, and he just basically says, it's over, Mum, we need to move on, and I need to take my career to the next level. I know what I need to do. So simple, effective, 46, not babyface yet, but we'll get there. Then a little segment backstage. So I accidentally made the match up between Toni Storm and Mercedes as part of the group. I forgot they were in the same group, but it ties into a storyline. So Mercedes basically barges into the office of the Women's Authority figure, Jessie McKay. She wants a rematch for the New Japan Strong Women's title. She's moaning, she's complaining, and then Jessie just turns around really strict and just says, who the hell do you think you are? What have you become? Why are you being entitled? Where is the old Mercedes? Where is this world-class athlete? Where is the world-class matches? Where is the baddest bitch around getting the job done? She's basically trying to light a spark under her, and you kind of end the kind of segment with kind of Mercedes like kind of thinking and going, no, she needs to find who she truly is. You know, I'm thinking like for what she is now to like that very early Sasha Banks where she had the matches in Brooklyn with Bailey. Try to bring that Mercedes money back. So 54 for the segment. Next up, we had a great wrestling match with good heat that saw Swerve Strickland defeat Kyle Fletcher and 11:40 with a Swerve Stomp. 74 for the wrestling, 55 crowd, 80 for the segment. Good stuff there. Swerve with a stellar 86 performance. After the matchup, MVP approaches Swerve Strickland. He says, I see you've got an issue with Kyle Fletcher. Does that mean that we can count you in against Ospreay, against Fletcher, Mark Davis, and Ricochet? But Swerve Strickland says, no man, I've got my eyes on one man only, and I'm doing this by myself. Come on, Nana. And then they head to the back. So he's got his eyes on someone. But who? The Ricochet storyline advances and loses a bit of heat. So who has Swerve got his eyes on? Is it Kyle Fletcher or is it someone else? Next up in the Group A for the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix, a decent matchup. Mercedes Mone gets the win in match 2 as she defeats Tay Mello in 9:30 by submission with a bank statement. Starting to pick up a 66 performance for Mercedes and a 64 overall. We then had a little segment where we have some words from MJF. He just cuts a wee quick promo here on Daniel Garcia, just talking about his actions that took place on the pay-per-view. He's like, oh, sorry Danny pal, did I hurt your neck? Oh, jeepers, in true MJF fashion. I will ensure that Danny Garcia never walks again. I'm either going to take his title or I'm going to help someone get it off him. And then when I get revenge on him, I will move forward and get my world title back, baby. Because my deal was like, either MJF is going to take the title off him or someone else will because of MJF. I'm undecided how that'll go down the line, but yeah. I feel the TNT title's probably below MJF, so we'll see how it goes. But 73 anyway, and it's the feud I want to work with, so we'll go for there. Next up in Group B of the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix, it was about the hard, decent wrestling, but not a lot of heat. Anna Jay defeated Azumi in 8:16 with the scissor kick. This obviously is a tournament that's designed to really help someone like Anna Jay, so I'm hoping that will be the case. Only a 40 performance for her and a 57 overall. We then had a little segment here, a little promo from the BCC. We've got Claudio, we've got Mox, we've got Pax and Words. Marina's in the background looking intimidating. She's about to have a matchup, and the subjects here are Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, and Jay White. Mox basically just says that Jay White got lucky, and if the Bang Bang Gang think they're tough enough, maybe the Blackpool Combat Club will need to handle them. Claudio goes on to say that Darby got lucky. He's going to seek to get his revenge back, to get his title back. And he also says that, Christian Cage, you've only got kill switch now, so you better watch out. Pac just says he's raging at what happened between him and Eddie Kingston, and he wants to take that frustration out on people. But Mox says, for now, just watch this woman dismantle her opponent in this tournament as we lead up to Marina Shafir in action. So a 61 for the segment. And that's actually not too bad. I thought this would be a lot lower. So Yuka's obviously carried it. But in about the had some decent wrestling and not a lot of heat. Marina Shafir defeats Yuka Sakazaki in 7:28 with the armbar. Storytelling matchup, just basically showcasing what Marina's got technical wise. And a 61 overall in Group D. So good stuff there. Then had a little quick video where we see basically Jack Perry looking all down, depressed, sad. He's been thrown out of the Elite. He is the true scapegoat of AEW, and that is a 59 after losing to Kenny Omega. We then have Scott D'Amore cut a quick promo, and he just says he's welcoming everyone to tournament season. He says he hopes they've enjoyed everything so far. As I say, it's going to be lots of matches, bringing the best out of each other on the road to Dynasty. He hopes for a lot of friendly competition as well. And a week and a half's time when we have the JR Tribute show, hopefully we can put on matches that are a true respect to a legend. Of course, it won't be too much storyline stuff in that show. It's just going to be a case of let's put on some slobber knockers and some good matches. So that was a 35 for Scott D'Amore. In the Tag Team Cup Group A, we had a great wrestling match with a decent reaction from the crowd as the Lucha Brothers defeated Top Flight in 14-15 when Rey Fenix pinned Dante Martin with the assisted Fear Factor. Made it still the show matchup because obviously these two teams will do some good stuff. Dante only with 56, so I'm worried that he's been hampered a lot by that knee injury. that he had that's obviously been put into the data. But great performances. Penta actually on his game for once win 81 and Ray Felix win 91. Spectacular stuff. So good win for the Lucha Bros. They take 3 points. All tournament stuff is basically 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw. Obviously 0 for a loss. Then have a little segment backstage before our main event. Roddy's about to head to the ring, but he bumps into Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly kind of suggests, he's like, have you had that? But basically he's interrupted by Roddy and he goes, Kyle, listen bro, I gotta wrestle. Leave it for now. So I wonder what Kyle O'Reilly wants with Roderick Strong, but Roddy is about to challenge for the Continental Championship against Kenny Omega. So that was a 52. And about that had great wrestling and good heat. Kenny defeats Roddy in 14-10 with a one-winged angel. Again made this one steal the show, just to see how it would go. Probably didn't really affect it too much because you look at it, 78 and 72 would probably come up to about a 75 anyway, so bit of a shame. But again, we're just trying to get Kenny some positive momentum. He's still chilly despite these title defences. And yeah, 77 is pretty solid. We should be looking at maybe about a 73 rated show overall. Bang on the money. And it increases our popularity in 35 regions. The fans are disappointed. I can't help it that I don't put storyline matches on all the time. I mean, I just want people to build up and be in a good position for pay-per-views, so I'm assuming we lose a few points with that, but it is what it is. But I think we started a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of feuds that are carrying on, some new stuff that's hinted to, and we get through a good few tournament matches, which will be mostly the case on Rampage and Shockwave for sure. Shockwave will just be recorded when Collision is, so locker room incidents, if we get any for Rampage, we don't, so I'll go and book that. BRB. So on to Rampage. I booked this like 4 days ago, so thankfully it's mostly just matches so I can remember that. But remembering what happened on Dynamite and then going straight into Collision was interesting. But Rampage was thankfully just mostly your tournament matches, so both the women's tournament and the tag team tournament, so we can quickly run through that. Sky Blue picked up a first victory over Taya Valkyrie, which was a 45, with some promo time for Harley Callum, and Saraya, which was a 46 before Saraya defeated Alex Windsor in her opening matchup, which was a 44. Felka defeated Ryo Mizunami in a 38. We had some words from the TBS champion Athena, which was a 67. In the tag tournament, the Righteous defeated the Outrunners, which was a 41. We had some good words from Eddie Kingston, which was a 74. And we finished off with Queen Aminata defeating Masha Slamovich, which was a very solid 64. So that was Rampage. We'll move on to Collision, and then we'll get some Shockwave. So it's the Jamestown Civic Centre for Collision, and we start off with a Super Shine Elite Grand Prix Group C match, and it saw two former friends taking on each other here. It was a decent matchup that saw the AEW Women's World Champion Mariah May defeating Mina Shirakawa in 904 with the Reverse Bulldog. I feel matches like this one are certainly going to help Mariah's development, and overall this was a segment rating of 63. We then had some words from Mariah May, and it's just basically saying, look what she's done to her former friend, someone that, that she really had a close relationship with. She says the whole women's roster should be on notice from that victory. She's going to be a dominant women's champion. Of course, she's had that belt all the way from All In, and she's also going to go ahead and win this tournament. A very strong promo, that might be one of her strongest. Going off script allowed her to perform a 70. So good stuff, Mariah. The wrestling, I'm hoping this tournament can certainly help her, but at least in the entertainment side, good stuff. Then had a extremely short match, our storytelling match of the evening. Wardlow defeating AR Fox in 138 with a Powerbomb Symphony. Simple squash match, destroys AR Fox in a 56. Also, we had Ricky Starks representing Undeniable, and it was a decent matchup that saw him defeat Kip Sabian in 604 with a spear, 57, 39 and 63. I don't know what to do with Kip. Obviously him and Penelope in the game, at least they're on different sides of the divide. I'll need a lot of that. But it was giving victories to Wardlow, giving one to Ricky Starks, and just slowly but surely building them up. We then heard some words with Undeniable, of course, Chris Jericho, Ricky Starks, Wardlow and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Jericho says basically he feels like he was back in 2009, He says he feels that this is the best Chris Jericho there ever's going to be. He's going to go to the top. Ricky Starks is going to get to the top. I'm sure everyone why the hype was behind him. Same with Wardlow, and Britt Baker's going to show why she is going to be the #1 woman in this company. So Chris Jericho is going to hopefully take these to the next level. That's the aim. Would use a Chris Jericho angle idea, which was expiring in a few days. Thankfully, it was a success as well. So a 64 promo, as I say, you just hope in this situation you can utilise Jericho's popularity, you can utilise his entertainment skill, and you hope that some of that can rub off to like Sir Ricky Starks, Wardlow, and Britt Baker. So good stuff there. We then had a meeting of Team AEW backstage. We basically just see Brian talking with Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia. He says that he's still got a wee bit of a knock, but he's hoping to be back to full fitness very, very soon. Daniel Garcia says he knows that they need him to face the BCC and the Bang Bang Gang, but at the same time, MJF is a problem and he needs to handle that. Brian understands it. He says it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, he knows that MJF and Garcia there's a lot of hatred between them, so he respects his decision. And Brian says that he's got him, he's got Yuta, and he's got an idea that he'll get some people to tag along to join in the fight against the BCC and the Bang Bang Gang. So 63 for the stable kind of wars we've got going, and yeah, good stuff there, even if it does give away future turns. Next up, it was a Briscoes Tag Team Cup Group A match, and this, I gave it as a Wild Brawl. Maybe didn't suit their styles, but a decent Wild Brawl saw Aussie Open defeat the Kingdom in 9:47 when Kyle Fletcher pinned Matt Taven with the Coriolis. This obviously style of wrestling suited Mark Davis, who brought a 71 performance. It was tricky to pick my Wild Brawl matchup, but I feel like this was the best one. You can afford it to be maybe hampered compared to others, but a 61 for the segment overall. Aussie Open with 3 points. Moving along, we just had some words, again try to get the overness up of Jessie McKay and Scott D'Amore, and they're talking about how good it's went so far. The women's matches have been good, and they're looking forward to putting on the best matches in the JR Tribute Show. So just a reminder for people, it's not going to be too much storyline related. I will just have like awesome matches, just as a kind of dedication to JR, who passed away in the save. So 45. Next up, we're about to had some great wrestling and good heat, and a very, very surprising rating, as Jay White defeats Wheeler Yuta in 12:15 with the Blade Runner. This match was designed to be a steal of the show. Very surprised that Yuta was able to hang with Jay White. They've done pretty well there, probably could have main evented. 73 for the wrestling, 58 for the crowd, 78 overall, and the Bryan's final run storyline advances and gains heat. So the Bang Bang Gang are certainly getting the advantage in this stable war at the moment. We then have a little video backstage. We just see, well, not sort of backstage, just around the streets, and it's just Jack Perry. He's proper moping around. He's been left to hang out to dry. He is the scapegoat. He's got no TNT Championship. He's got no Young Bucks, no Okada. What next for the scapegoat? With them are in the Super Shine Grand Prix Group A. Decent matchup. Hikaru Shida picking up the win over Giselle Shaw in 7:57 with the Tamashi, I believe it is. So it was Giselle Shaw's first appearance. As I say, some of them have like 6 month to 1 year deals. We'll see how they do it in the tournament. If they're good, they stay. If they don't, they can go to Ring of Honor, or they can go to Independence. But some good stuff here. 70 via 45, and overall the matchup was a 65. So good stuff. Then a little introduction to one of our competitors from Japan, the uber talented Sari. She is going to be in action next in the tournament. Obviously not too over in the US, so a 30 segment there. Her Sun God gimmick was poor. And Sari was in action against Serena Deeb in a decent matchup. She picks up the upset victory in 8:14 with the Sunray dropkick from Group D. 69 overall is very, very good stuff, especially with Serena having a 61 and Sari with a 67, so he benefited for that one. And her from being in amazing form. So good stuff in Group D. We have a little challenge offered by Will Ospreay, a very strong promo. So 2 of our strong promos have actually been unscripted, so that's a 78. And he says he wants to end the whole stuff between the Hurt Syndicate, between him, Ricochet as well. And he says 316, of course that will be the GR Tribute show. He wants to have Will Ospreay, Bobby Lashley. So he calls out Lashley and MVP Deuce to explain that. So we'll hopefully get an answer for that soon. But the storyline gains a bit of heat. And yeah, I don't think the styles will clash very well, but I'm intrigued to see how that match goes down. We then have some words from Darby Allin. He talks about the sacrifices, the dangers, everything he's done to put himself to become the AEW World Champion. He talks about the matchup with Hangman, the matchup with Claudio, how his body was just completely done in, picked up the win, picked up the championship, and then Christian Cage cashed in to become the World Champion. He's angry, but he's not surprised that Christian would resort to such an action. And he just tells Christian Cage to pretty much be on notice because he is not going to rest until he's the AEW World Champion yet again. So the storyline advances and the segment was a 61. And that might be, it was our best ever US match, well, on US soil. I just felt like let's have a very good Konosuke Takeshita title defense just to make sure we gain pop. So whether that's cheap or not, I don't know. And they made it over 20 minutes, I'm learning. But if we want to get these high scores, we need to go higher than 20 minutes in our main event. So expect that a lot going forward, because I do want to start putting pressure on getting close to 100 rated matches in some places and making sure the pop gains maybe a bit quicker. So it was about to have some superb wrestling and good heat as Takeshita defeats Rey Fenix in 2050 with a touchdown, giving him his third defence of the International Championship. So a good match there. I will stress as well, as much as we'll gain pop for like instances like this, Shockwave is an A show, but it's mostly tournament matches, so we may lose some pop on that. So it kind of balances that. So you may see a lot of like random Takeshita title defences that hopefully gets him over, gets a really good matchup, and at the same time increases the prestige of the title belt. So we'll make this like a proper workhorse championship. But 90 rating for our main event. Takeshita looks $1 million. And we finished the show with an 85 overall. And that just shows you. Not really much in that show was particularly great. You know what I mean? We had Jay White Yuta and 2 promos that were outstanding with Ospreay and Mariah May. The rest of it was pretty bang average, apart from that main event. So that just shows you it's a one segment show, but it's just over delivered. Probably gets into our top 5 shows with quite ease. And increase our popularity in 12 regions. So good to see there. See a lot of stuff built up there. And as we head to Shockwave, just going to see if there's any locker room incidents. There's not. So I'm going to go ahead and book Shockwave. Let's do it. So on to Shockwave we go. A full card of women's action. So hopefully a very strong main event, and hopefully the promos can carry to make sure we don't lose pop. Turns out it was 5,409 in attendance, so pretty good stuff there. And we start off with a Super Shine Elite Grand Prix Group B match that saw Camille pick up a decent win over Willow Nightingale in 9:33 with the spear. I feel like we need to start making Camille looking a bit more intimidating. She's in cool momentum as well. We need her to obviously be there for Mercedes as a viable option and a legit threat. So a win over Willow is certainly going to give her a good bit of credibility. So 60 overall for that one, and that's with Willow off her game. Next up, we have a little promo backstage. Obviously, Camille's just heading back after her win, and it's Mercedes Mone basically saying she is going to be facing Hikaru Shida on Dynamite next week, and she is going to just show that she is back to full form. She is the standard of this company. She is elite, and we've got that to look forward to, and that was a 62 rated segment. Decent well brought, saw Chris Statlander defeat Megan Bayne in 9:52 by count out to try and protect Megan Bayne a little bit so she doesn't take the pinfall loss. This was part of Group D, 58 for the wrestling, 45 for the crowd, 63 for the segment. I felt it was the best style of matchup for their skill sets, and overall Statlander for a very impressive 66, so good stuff. Moving along, I had a little segment here. I was kind of hoping a bit better. This was going to be one of those segments to hopefully help us gain pop, but it's just a 69. I had here basically just Scott D'Amore speaking with Will Ospreay and just really just confirming obviously that MVP and Lashley have accepted the challenge that next Sunday we will see Will Ospreay, Bobby Lashley one-on-one. D'Amore was underwhelming, the storyline advances and doesn't lose heat. That was another reason for having it in, so we had something to carry over storylines, but D'Amore a lot underwhelming, probably because of his lack of overness. But still, I'm intrigued to see how this matchup goes with the Styles Clash. Next up in the Women's Grand Prix, it was a Group A match that saw decent wrestling and a little heat. I went with Sky Blue over Mi Saruga at 9:30 with a sliced bread. Made this steal the show, I had to make it one match. Normally, I would always have Mi Saruga going over, she's fantastic, but we also need to look at the development of Sky Blue, and I feel like having her in there with somebody like me is only going to benefit her. So I gave her the victory here. She was off her game, which is a bit disappointing. Carried to 59, and me debuts the Apple Girl gimmick, which got an initial rating of great. So good stuff there. As I say, work in progress, Sky Blue. Me, someone that will probably push way down the line. We'll get her locked in at one point, but at the moment we'll try and stick with some of the AEW originals, originals as in are on the roster to start with, and we'll push them from there. Last minute addition, but managed to squeeze in a decent matchup with Thunder Rosa and Riho. Thunder Rosa wins in 7:56 with La Rosa. I feel I'm someone that horribly has never really pushed her, which is a bit of a shame, but I mean that for a lot of TWs, not just particularly this one. But hopefully we can get something from her here. A good win in Group C. 58 for the segment, 56 for the wrestling. Decent stuff. Then I had a Mariah May promo. I was hoping she would go as good as the last time, only a 64, so it means the pressure is on the main event to deliver alongside that 69 Ospreay promo. But it's just Mariah May bragging, just saying, look at all these women, how none of them can even hold a candle to Mariah May. I'm one victory down, 9 more to go, and then I'll win. That would be 9 because obviously there's 10 people in the group, so 9 matches plus the final. 9 more to go is technically correct. I get away with that one. Next up, gutted that has to make an Arisa Nakajima match storytelling, but you know, it's where we're at with Britt Baker's skill level in this and her extremely poor form as we try and drag her out of it. But it was about to have some decent wrestling and not a lot of heat as Britt defeats Nakajima in 8:53 with the lockjaw. Part of Group D, a 57 overall. Britt only bringing a 47 is worrying, but hopefully we can start to get her back to form, and hopefully the part of Chris Jericho's faction can help her as well. Athena tried her best, so close. She was hyping up the main event, her versus Mayu Yamashita. I'm really hoping these two deliver, because I feel they can. Both of them are absolutely uber talented, especially Yamashita's technical stats in this are just wow, and Athena's brawling's been really good. It could maybe be a clash, but just hyping up that main event. They're going to go 18 minutes. Will they deliver? I'm hoping it's in the 70s. I have a lot of faith in these two. It's just falling a little shy. So I expect we'll lose a bit of pop here, but still some decent stuff here, and that's with some good chemistry. But in Group B, good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Athena defeats Yamashita in 17:57 with the O-Face. 69 wrestling, 43 for the crowd, and a 67 for the segment. There'll be a lot that'll be like, we used Yamashita too much, but I was hoping this would help get her over a little bit. So if we go to the dirt sheet, we'll have a clear indication. Both of them being babyface, which is fair. Both of them inconsistency and the physical condition of Athena. So as to be expected, Blues pop in 15 regions, because it's only a 64. I wanted to try it just with the women's matches to see, but we'll probably only add tag matches in, so I expect the Lucha Bros to probably carry this show going forward. So an increase in 15, a loss in 27, and obviously we want the storyline to progress with Lashley and Ospreay. So financial report for the show is 1.7 million profit. We make a lot of profit obviously through basically being on the network for Shockwave, so yeah, financially we're going to be absolutely fine. We can basically commit to a lot more things, which is good. Invest in a lot more things. So the popularity was going to be all over the place. Like, we gain a lot purely because of the show beforehand as well. So in the race to get to 77 to grow is going to be tricky because we need every main event to hit, but at the same time we are only 6 off it. And I'm hoping if we get to that level, we can be in a position where the wrestlers will get more over, and I will not focus too much on the technical aspects, because we have a weird 40-60 split on that, so it's trying to find workers that kind of work with each other and combine. But we'll go back here. A few things I want to look over. It's weird booking 4 shows a week now, that next week there's going to be 5. The video will obviously have Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, Shockwave, and then of course the GR Tribute Show, but its own separate episode. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what kind of random matches being put together. Might be able to get some storylines coming out of that. But I wanted to look at here. Brian's back at 100%, which is good to see. Collision. I think Collision was good. Maybe not so much on Shockwave, but we had to learn from that one. And we'll see here if there's anything else that directly affects us. Oh! Penelope Ford is pregnant, so we're going to be losing her from the main roster. So that's us already lost. Even though I've not used her yet, Julia Hart and Penelope Ford now to pregnancy, and obviously it's a wee bit, because of the extended time, it's a long time before we'll see Ruby Soho. Right, so Azumi has relocated. BG James has left WWE. Becky Lynch is still on a wee hiatus. I was hoping we could talk to her, have her contracted, but just not work because she's on hiatus. But she still won't come out of it. I would like to hope if we can get to big, we might be able to lure her out. Brian's back. One man Sanders and Sawyer Wrecker engaged. Penelope Ford is in and she's pregnant, so she'll start maternity leave in 30 days. 1.28 for Collision. 2 million viewers for Shockwave. This stage is strictly on our network. Mariah May says that Takeshita talks well. She's already one of the locker room kind of leaders in that aspect, or at least in terms of stature, but her popularity is good, to be fair. 61. Mercedes likes Misa Riga, which is good, and Orange Cassidy thinks that Sari is going to be a star. So good stuff there. So the only other thing I wanted to touch was just basically having a wee look at the tournaments. So you can see there, everybody's had a match in Group A in the tag. Nobody's even touched anything in Group B. And Group C with the Guns over the Workhorsemen. In the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix, you can see here, Sky Blue has 2 wins from 2. We've had Mercedes with a win and a loss. Storm's get 3 points, Shida's get 3 points. And we've yet to see Takuma Aroha and Fujimoto. Fujimoto wasn't available, she was doing ice red and stuff, so she could be tricky to get the 10 matches in. But 9 matches in, but we'll get there. Group B, you can see there, 1 match across the board. We've yet to see Jamie Hayter and we've yet to see Maki Ito, but victories for Athena, Anna Jay, Saraya and Camille. Group C, we've yet to see Io Shirai and Donna Purrazzo. Could have that opening round match up this week, possibly. But wins there for Mariah May, Thunder Rosa, Queen Aminata and Felka, I'm going to pronounce that wrong so many times. And in Group D, you can see we've yet to see Saru Anoi and Maxine Paler, but we had victories for Britt Baker, Chris Statlander, Marina Shafir, and Sari. I don't know who's winning each group, I'm just going to see how the tournament goes, and we'll hopefully get a lot of progress from Overness and Skill Guidance, so that's the plan. I also think this video's going to out like the day after Christmas, I think, which is wild, because it's nowhere near Christmas when I'm recording this, but that might gives you an idea of how much fun I've had with the save. So I'll just say, thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a good festive time. I hope you have a good new year. I think we'll maybe have one more video before the new year hits. And yeah, as always, wee thumbs up appreciated. Check out the Fancy Booker subreddit, Grey Dog Software Forums, twdb.com, and bethebooker.net for all your TEW resources you need. So take it easy. See you for the next one. Bye bye.